Hey everybody, get on in here. Yes, it's 3 o'clock. Do you know where your fly lady is? She's right in front of you. Please share our videos. Yeah, get on in here. We're going to have a fun time today because I have a teapot full of topics ready to share with you. I hope you all got a chance to watch Leanne's little Facebook Live she did last night. I have my teacup full of Earl Grey right now. I had to dig this one out of the back of the cabinet because I wanted this cup. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." And that is from Psalms. Let me see if I can see it. It's dark on dark. Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. So, everybody drink up. Now, Leanne is moving. She will be here in about 10 days. We're so excited. I haven't had my dear friend close to me in a long, long time. She used to be about an hour from me, hour and 20 minutes, and then she moved to Charlotte. And from Charlotte, she moved to California. Now she's from California. And then from California, she moved back to Charlotte, and then she moved to Colorado. So we stay as close as we can possibly be on the internet with our phones and texting and Messenger and Facebook and all the. Thank goodness for social media. She's always been close that way, but physically she's not been. It was an ordeal for all of us. So she hopped on a plane June 1st and came and surprised me. And hope y'all got to see my surprise when that all happened. So those of you on the Gulf Coast of our great country, I just saw a little tropical tidbits that said we could have a tropical storm brewing in the Gulf. So y'all get ready. We've been talking about for 2 days about being prepared. So I want you to study what we've got to have. Study what you got to have. If you need to evacuate, keep a watch on the weather. I've got my little teapot. I'm gonna go dig around in here and drag one out. Let's see what we have today. I got one. And then I place the lid back on my teapot and I move it to the back of my shelf and I bring out my little Wise Owl, and that's the one I'm going to draw from tomorrow. Now, you see what I just did there? I'm preparing for tomorrow with a simple act. And I do that when I run my mop. I put a clean mop cloth on when I finish. It's part of what I do. I empty out my carpet sweeper when I get through so that I'm ready for the next time. It's all about being prepared. Oh, this one's a... Okay. What you think about, you bring about. Now, this is a long one. What you think about, you bring about. Abraham was told to confess he was the father of many nations when he didn't have any children and his wife was past childbearing years. But he kept saying it. He was the father of many nations. And he kept saying it over and over. And sure enough, he tried to take it into his own hands. His wife she tried to take it into her own hands. And things didn't work out too well for that thing. But then at 80-something years of age, she gave birth to a son. And he was told to look up at the stars and your descendants are going to be as these many stars. And, You just have to have faith in what you keep thinking about. I had a friend who was traveling this weekend, and her mother was worried about her traveling, just worried. And, you can't be concerned. You can't be concerned. You can't have worry because you're thinking about it. My grandmother used to worry a lot, and I said, Granny, worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair trying to get to your hair appointment, to the grocery store. You just have to let these things go and have faith. And you can't have just a little bit of faith. I was watching some show the other day on PureFlix, and it was talking about Pat Boone was in it, and it was about horses. And Pat Boone said, you can't have faith. You have to, it's faith or nothing. It's faith. You have to have faith. And what we think about when we have faith, amazing things can happen. The father of many nations. I learned from Scott Adams many years ago. He has a chapter in his book, The Future According to Dilbert, and it's at the back of the book. But he talked about, how we used to have to write when we would be in class and we'd get caught talking, and we would write down things about not having to talk. Do not talk in class. I will not talk in class. And we had to write, 500 times or whatever, or we'd have to go up to the blackboard and write these things. Oh, I've gotten on here without earrings. I feel naked. Anyway, he taught us when you write these things, they're affirmations. They're affirmations of your faith. They are affirmations of your faith. But you say positive things. You always say something positive. With our I ams in the middle of the night when we're going to sleep, I go to sleep in the middle of the night, you say, I am amazing. I am articulate. I am artful. All of these wonderful things. You go through the ABCs and you affirm these things to God and to yourself. So, here's to letting go of things and being positive about things and knowing that your faith is going to get you there. Oh my, that is just wonderful. So, having the faith of a mustard seed. I used to have a little charm that was a little teardrop, and that little teardrop contained a tiny mustard seed. And that little mustard seed is all the faith you need. Really, you just know. You just know. And you don't let your fears, fear is the opposite of love. Plain and simple. Some people think it's that hate is the opposite of love. Fear is the opposite of love. Fear is a tool of the evil one that pulls you away from God. So let go of your fear. Sitting, rocking, and wringing your hands doesn't get you anywhere. But if you turn it around and say wonderful things to yourself, praise God, count your blessings, all of these things are going to change your attitude. It's going to change it all. Love does cast out fear. That's a good one. So folks, let's drink up to being still and know that I am God, is what my cup says. And that's from God, so not me, God. Mmm. It's warm and wonderful. And it's too hot to hug. It's too hot to hug. So everybody, take some time today to let go of your fears. Focus on the things you can do, not what you can't do. Because as my granny always said, can't never could do anything. And if we focus on what we can do, just a little bit, it's going to get you there. Just a little bit. It is going to get you there. Let me read it again, see if I've missed anything. What you think about, you bring about. So, being positive about the things around you. Smiling when you don't feel like smiling. Taking the time to fill your head with wholesome books and wholesome movies and affirmations. These things can change your attitude. If you like Joel Osteen, listen to his sermons. Go on YouTube and just play a bunch of his sermons because they give you positive stuff too. I know one time Michelle and I, it's on my birthday a few years ago. And Michelle used to be my assistant, and she comes to me one day and she says, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is we're going on a road trip. And the bad news is we have to leave tomorrow. So we got in the car and we drove to Fort Hood, Texas. And we took our time getting there. We had to be there by Thursday. And we just listened to XM radio all the way there and listening to Joel Osteen's sermons. I had never really listened to him. And he is he just oozes positiveness. So it was an amazing trip. It was an amazing trip there. So much so that we ended up going by the church in Houston to see the facilities, and we went by the gift shop, and that's where I've got a plaque that says you don't have to see the top of the staircase to take the first step. And it was just wonderful, just wonderful. And then I have a friend he has two daughters that work for Pastor Osteen. So you just have to think on the positive. See yourself in the situation you want to be in. Someone was mentioning pray for her to get the job she wants. See yourself in that job. Build your vision board. Leanne had a vision board yesterday. Build your vision board around all these things. Eric has done a vision board. I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and I have been doing it for the last 20 years because I got my house in order. And with getting my house in order, I was able to be ready for what God had prepared me for. Everything. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to be when I grew up. I never knew what I was going to be when I grew up. I knew I could do a lot of things, but I never really put it together into a career that I wanted to do. Yeah, I could have taught school. I could have gotten a PhD and helped, taught classes in college. But that's not what God had me here to do. I got rid of my clutter, and all of a sudden, the doors opened up. And my sister kept saying, you got to write a book. And I kept saying, I don't need to write a book. I give it all away. And now I'm giving it all away twice a day in little videos for you. But Leanne and I are working on a new book. It's about body clutter and the wisdom that comes from tackling the clutter that's in your head, because we think we've got a handle on things, and really we've just not decided to deal with that part of our lives. I'm like Leanne. I got some shelves in the basement that need decluttered. So she's contagious to me. So everybody, y'all have a good rest of the evening. There's my sister Dana. Love my sister. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We're going to do a weekly home blessing tomorrow morning to recover from our holiday weekend. Body Clutter is available. It should be on our website and on Amazon. So I'm going to put this in our little basket over here of different things. Be sure and get your calendars. The coupon code for this week is BLESSING304. You can save 20% on the big one and the little one. We have, this is our Swish and Swipe pack. 3 purple rags, a rubber swisher, and a vase to put it in. It's $19.95. And y'all are figuring out what's for dinner. I cooked last night. Well, we had leftovers and hot dogs. Well, brats. We had brats. I cooked them inside because it was raining outside. Y'all have a great rest of the day. And spend some time thinking about your I ams. I am courageous. You are. You really are. I've been reading stories about North Korea, and some of the women there are so courageous to raise their families with nothing. And look at what we can do. We have the power. And yet sometimes we're very wasteful. These books are these books I've been reading have helped me to realize what a wonderful place that we live in the free world. We have the ability to say what we want to say, and we have the ability to get just about anything we want. We might have to save up for it, but you see what I'm talking about. We're not being terrorized by not having enough food for our family. There's our timer. I set it for 15 minutes. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow at noon. At 11 o'clock. See you later. Bye.